Hello, all. My name is Dawn Fox. I'm honored to be sitting here in front of you, being able to talk and share a little bit of my story. I'm known for jokes, so if I throw some laughter in, just go with it. Laughter is like great medicine for the soul, and when you've been bruised and when you've been broken sometimes, when you've been hurt, a little bit of laughter doesn't hurt. And so let's get straight to it. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about, or in response to, what everybody's seeing and talking about, surviving R. Kelly. I watched it. I lived it. Let me read a little something that I wrote this morning. It's entitled, Surviving My R. Kelly, written by Dawn Fox. I was 13 when the conditioning started. I was 14 and a half when my father actually started molesting me. I'll never forget him telling me to put the Bible away and come get on this bed. Yet 10 years after this happened, I remember inviting my dad to my house. Notice how one person had two positions, my father and my dad. Again, I say, I allowed him to come back into my house. How do you allow the person who took so much from you the access to come back into your world? Listen so you can understand. As much wrong as my father did, I never stopped wanting or needing a dad. In fact, after such brokenness, a little girl needs her dad even more. Somewhere in my mind, I was able to separate my father from my dad. That was hard and confusing. I've spent many years moving past the loss of both my father and my dad. He physically passed away in August. My dad physically passed away in August. But my father, he died a long time ago. Today, one would think that the worst part of what I endured was the actual physical abuse and the physical events. Let me make it clear from the horse's mouth what's the worst part of the entire 2 years that this happened. The worst part was that I couldn't talk about it. Didn't have anybody I could share my nightmare with. You know, you didn't talk about those things. And while everyone else went on with life, I was stuck trying to get past the nightmare all by myself. If you've ever watched a scary movie, you kind of know that the worst time in the world, the scariest time, the time that you are most vulnerable, is the time that you're alone with that fear. You make the deadliest choices in those places. And so, if you know someone, friend or family, who has suffered a nightmare, don't leave them stuck in the nightmare alone. Go in, sit with them for real. Number one, I also posted, stop expecting whole reactions from broken people. You know, dealing with that, it did something for a lot of years. Broken people break people. Hurt people hurt people. But people expected whole rational decisions. From someone who was broken just really bad at that point. The last part of my post is probably more than what a lot of people would have expected. I added that my bishop, the bishop of my church, he fondled me too. I can't express the horror knowing that you're doing everything right and walking into someone who represents God and they do the unthinkable. He represented God, and so when even my bishop crossed and fondled me and did what he shouldn't have done, not only did I associate what happened with the pastor, but he represented God to me, and so the space between me and God stretched. It may not make sense to some, but to some people watching this, you got it. Again, as we just kind of look at the R. Kelly situation, and as I just finished reading my own little piece, the experience, the events that I dealt with, being molested by my dad, really hard, or by my father, and I say my father, and then I say my dad. It's almost like it's two different people. Even though my father did this, I never stopped needing it or wanting my dad. I never, as a little girl, every little girl wants a dad in their life. They want the dad that tells them how beautiful they are, that tells them, oh, that little boy over there that's trying to be your boyfriend, I'm going to get him. We want those things. We want the guidance. And because of the choices that my father made, I didn't get a dad to do that. Can I be real honest? You hear the Christians all your life say, oh, you move past that. God is our Father. And yes, God is my Father. He sure is. But even now, I think there's still a little piece, there's still a little girl inside of me that wishes that the memories I had of my dad were those telling me how special I was, instead of those that reminded me how horrible life can be. The need doesn't change, even if the players do. I talked a little bit and said that I even went through being mishandled and fondled by my bishop. Another male figure, one of authority. Am I surprised that through life and throughout life I had problems with male authority figures? Some of the things that come behind the misuse of power and men alter all aspects of somebody's life. Again, authority figures. Could no man tell me what to do? Ciao, bye, baby, bye. Not happening, because the male authority figures have proved to be untrustworthy and unfaithful to what they were supposed to be, and so they couldn't be trusted. I didn't have no respect for them. Even when it came to God, because the bishop did it, one of the highest offices. I didn't know if I could trust what a pastor said. I didn't know if I could trust the word of a prophet. I didn't know if I should even bother to go to church, because if that's what the pastors was doing, and because they were figures of authority that hurt me, I'll be the first to say that I spent 15 years, 13 and a half, 15, same thing, with somebody that that didn't deserve me, but he wouldn't hurt me. And so I stayed. He would never make me want to do something I didn't want to do. So I stayed. I stayed for damn near 15 years. I know if I'd had a daddy that told me I was beautiful and not made me put my Bible down so that he could make me lay on the bed. I know that if I'd had a dad that would have taken me to the dance instead of telling me I wasn't good enough for the dance. I know that if I'd had the right kind of dad instead of the father that I had. I doubt that I would have stayed with him for that long. I would have loved myself more, believed in myself more. Which leads me to one of the things I really want to say about, again, the R. Kelly video. People are saying that, you know, women are back and forth and, oh, they're saying this, they're saying that. Can't expect whole rational thoughts from broken people. As much as my dad was my perpetrator, he was my protector. As much as he was my perp, he was my protector. Can't judge him. You don't know what kind of decisions you make when you're broken. You can probably, there's some people that can walk into churches and be like, oh, I'm going to church with my mother. Oh, I'm going to church because I go to church every Sunday. I love God, yada, yada, yada. And then there's me, that because of what my bishop did, I've moved past it. I'm happy in life. But don't forget, we expect people to forget for what? We ain't stupid. I can't forget that a bishop fondled me without permission and used the name of God to do it. I can't forget that. And so when I walk in a church, unlike somebody that comes in and just gets the word, puts in the offering, has a wonderful experience, first thing I think when I walk in and first thing I have to fight past is, oh my God, I hope nobody in here is being abused by somebody of power in this church. The innocence that a lot of people standing there judging, the innocence that you have, it's unfair. I remember a good friend of mine gave me an assignment. She said, your assignment is to go up and say hello to your bishop. I've been going to the church for 2 years. I had nothing to say to him. I came for the word. I was all right. She said, your assignment is to go up and shake hands, say hello to the bishop. It took me about 3 more months. This is real. I'm strong. I'm funny. I'm cute. But some R. Kelly stuff came. Some abusive power came. And it broke me in places that I didn't know could be cracked. Hell, I almost married 2 of the wrong men. One of them I did marry. Made all the wrong decisions. And so before we start making judgments and things like that, you know, let's take a step back. Be mindful and prayerful of the victims. And even if you don't understand us, don't down us. But for grace, could be you. 2019, we're here. If I could give some advice, tell somebody. For me, suffering in silence. You know, we didn't talk about stuff. And so there was suffering in silence. Everybody else went on with life, but I was just sitting there like living in my pain. Everybody else went on in life. People sit around and tell me stuff that happened. And I'm like, huh? I don't remember that because I was suffering in silence. Life went on. It's not an easy place to be, people. But I get it. I totally understand. So in 2020, let's live to be free. Let's live to be whole. Pick your problems. Lord, we had enough of them. I'm picking my problems. If it's not worth it, I'm not taking it. But 2020 is a prelude. 2019 is a prelude to 2020. 2020, we should be able to think clearly. And so, don't let 2019 go. Not clean up some things, let some things go, speak some things, say it. He touched me, he was nasty, his fingers should be broken, his things should be cut, off. Just say exactly how you feel and get it out there. Be whole, get healthy, forget about everything else. And anybody that's not there to build you up and help you through this, two tears for them, because you are definitely worth saving. And so, it's a hard place. Be bold enough to live in the unpopular place. What is the unpopular place? Saying it. Yep, he did it. I want not say he didn't do it. He did do it. Be bold enough to live in a place that's not popular. Because the popular place is where all the regular people are. I think we're special. I think we're kind of special. And so, my name is Dawn Fox. Hey, I'm not ashamed to say it. My daughter say I'm closer to the tomb than the womb. Kissing 55. But what I will say is that life does get better. Oh my God, it's wonderful when you just tell it like it is. And so, in 2019, take the time to get free. Mute. They say it's mute R. Kelly. I say mute the hard place, the harshness that came to try to steal your life, to steal the places that were peaceful, to steal the place that was calm. Live past them. Live past them. You can do it. And most importantly, tell your story. The power is in the silence. Speak your truth. And don't care, don't matter what people say, because you know what? Don't matter, doesn't matter what people say, because they weren't there. They didn't cry your tears. They didn't feel your pain. They didn't isolate themselves. They didn't withdraw from their families. They didn't have to deal with the turmoil that you've had to deal with. You don't need their validation. Speak your truth in 2019 so that when 2020 comes and you can see clearly, you, my friend, will be ready to soar. God bless. Hey, didn't want to walk away before I gave you the opportunity to come in contact with me in more ways than just behind the camera. It's wonderful to finally be able to be whole enough, be secure enough, be strong enough, be vivacious enough to get behind the camera. And so I definitely want to take this opportunity to just put out there a few things that I have to offer right now. I hate to say it. It's a cliche, but greatness is often born out of great tragedy. And so I have 2 books that I have out right now. I'm working on the 3rd one, but the first 2 I want to tell you about. It was October the 10th of 2013. Wow. My sister had been diagnosed with cancer. And October the 10th, Tanya stopped breathing. I gave her CPR, and she didn't come back. What I thought was the worst time in my life turned out to be just an amazing. This is what I'm talking about being able to, even like when you've gone through something where life has just sucked everything out. When someone's done something to you, when you've been overcome with sadness, but there's greatness there. Trust me. After giving my sister CPR and thinking that the worst thing in the world possibly had just happened, God showed me that what I had literally done was I had helped my sister check her bag. My journey of love with my sister it had surpassed mortality and helped her cross into immortality. And so I was able to see what should have been tragic as just like one of the most precious opportunities. Oh my goodness, to help my sister check her final bag on the side. When she, you have to walk that walk to understand it. But what again should have been just one of the most devastating things, just knowing that I was able to help meet her needs before she left. Oh, that's precious. And so I wrote a book about it. Checking Her Bag, A Sister's Journey of Love. What I realized was that there was no script. I didn't know how to handle losing a sister, how to handle losing someone you love. What do you do? And then what do you do when it's over? I felt like I had literally come so close to death, watching my sister leave, watching her tongue die. I had come so close that I actually needed someone to put me back into life. And so it was those small lessons. I once had a girlfriend that said, I didn't know what to do, so I didn't call. Get 2 Happy Meals, come to the house. I probably didn't want to eat either one, but come. Don't let me sit alone. Don't let the person sit by themselves. Don't let them suffer alone. Go in their desert. Be brave enough to go in somebody's desert today. And so Checking Her Bag, A Sister's Journey of Love, it is available at dawninfox.com. dawninfox.com. You can also order these personally at dawnfox2@yahoo.com. That's dawnfox2@yahoo.com. That's Checking Her Bag. Now, this right here, this is the joint, y'all. Daisies in the Desert. This is a book about some stories, some hard places that I've had to walk through in life, some deserts, some cracked places, some scorchers, some things that I thought should have broken me, spit me out, just so it could break me again. But I've come to find in life that no matter how bad the situation, if you look hard enough, there's something good there. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how hot the desert is. If you keep looking, you will find that there's a daisy there. I won't go into detail, but what I will say is that after I endured the nastiness and the unwanted touch for years of my father, after I endured the fondling all in the name of God by my bishop, and even had a college director, the counselor person, offer me help as he put his hand up the back of my blouse, all of that. I still believe in love. I still hope for a great guy I still expect someone to love me as never before. Two left at the altars. One totally failed relationship. Daisies in the desert of that desert, that hot place. I still pick the daisy of belief and love. I mean, for me, that's a daisy in the desert. And so, this book is available also. It's a bunch of stories. All of them are true. All of them are true. This is some life in these pages. And I'm sure you've got some stories of your own. So, hit me up, DawnFox2 at yahoo.com. That's DAWNFOX, the number 2 at yahoo.com, or DawnInFox.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Looking forward to hearing some of your daisies out of your deserts. And definitely looking forward to hearing how maybe one of the hardest situations in your life turned into a journey of love. See you next time.